I feel pretty good.
Yeah? And you've recovered well after that.
I don't know if I'm 100% recovered, but I feel good.
Yeah, I mean a little bit. Yeah, like there was a point where, I was just like, okay, he's not really engaging back. And so I don't know if he's tired or whatever, and I could just tell, his age was showing a little bit, and
This whole Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson situation is still going strong. Before these two even stepped into the ring, rumors started flying that Mike Tyson was battling a serious illness, and now it's being reported that Jake Paul might have been the one who leaked that info to tip the scales in his favor. And let's be real, when the fight finally went down, it only made those rumors look even more believable. Jake was clearly holding back, and Mike, he looked not okay. It had people wondering if Mike really was sick and just took the fight for the check. Just weeks before his big showdown with Jake Paul, Mike Tyson had a serious health scare. The 57-year-old legend got nauseous and dizzy on a flight, and it got so bad that the airline had to ask if there was a doctor on board. Imagine that, Mike Tyson needing medical help mid-flight. When the plane landed in LA, paramedics had to treat him right there on the tarmac. Naturally, this had people worried about whether the fight was even going to happen. But Mike jumped on social media and said he was feeling 100% even though I don't need to beat Jake Paul. His team claimed it was just an ulcer flare-up, but people were already side-eyeing the situation. When fight night finally rolled around, Jake Paul won by a unanimous decision, but nobody could ignore that something was off. Mike didn't look like himself at all. Yeah, he's 57, but we'd all seen those training clips where he looked sharp and dangerous. But the Mike Tyson we got in that ring was completely different.
Day 2, I'm getting ready for you. 1, 2, 3, 4.
His footwork was gone. His punches didn't have that usual power, and he looked straight up frail. People started putting 2 and 2 together, and it really started to seem like those illness rumors were true. And let's not ignore the fact that a lot of people were calling the fight scripted. I mean, come on, it was looking real staged.
Were you dealing with an injury going into the fight?
Yeah, but I can't use that for an excuse, because if I did, I wouldn't be in here.
The broadcast team was debating what you were doing with your glove. Was it a mouthpiece issue, or were you just biting on your glove? What was that? Could you tell us?
Oh, I have a habit of biting my gloves when I fight, yes.
Why do you do that?
I have a biting fixation.
But here's the thing, if Mike did take this fight just for the payday, it wouldn't be the first time. Back in the day, when he owed serious debts and the IRS was on his neck, Mike had to step into the ring just to stay afloat financially. So yeah, it wouldn't be a shock if he did the same thing here to deal with whatever mystery illness he's fighting.
I have fucking like $60 million of tax debt. Where does this money come from? And that's why I don't accept it and I get away, because I don't deserve this. Nobody really deserves that kind of money.
If the fight itself wasn't enough of a red flag, what Jake Paul said afterward just made everything super sus. In the post-fight conference, Jake straight up admitted that he was holding back and didn't want to knock Mike out, because even Jake could see that Mike wasn't okay.
Yeah, like there was a point where, I was just like, okay, he's not really engaging back. And so I don't know if he's tired or whatever, and I could just tell, his age was showing a little bit.
Fans noticed it too. One observer made a whole diagnosis just from watching the fight, saying his legs were gone and he could barely keep his arms up. It looked like he had a lot of shoulder pain, probably from a rotator cuff injury and maybe sciatica on top of that. That's probably why he kept biting his gloves, just to keep his hands up. After the 3rd or 4th round, he couldn't throw punches anymore and was just trying to defend himself. Jake decided not to tee off on him, thank God. This fight should never have happened, and it's a shame Jake keeps pulling this stunt in his so-called boxing career. That's some real talk right there, and not gonna lie, it makes a lot of sense. And it's not just fans picking up on this. MMA legend John Jones also chimed in, saying Jake Paul knew he had Mike, but held back because he was aware of his health issues. When you've got fighters like John Jones pointing out the obvious, there's more to the story.
You respect Jake for not, because I mean, when Holyfield came back, Belfort went and just kind of iced him in very quick fashion, and I think Jake probably could have done that later on in the fight, but he opted to let Mike get to the bell.
I don't think Jake gave him mercy. I think Jake played it smart. I think that's what it was. I think Jake knows that you're winning.
Even Evander Holyfield had something to say about this fight. And you know, when Holyfield speaks on Mike Tyson, it carries weight. These two have had some legendary battles. So when Evander says it wasn't a good fight overall and that it was terrible for Mike, you know he's talking from experience. If anyone can spot when Mike isn't at his best, it's Holyfield, and he wasn't holding back on his critique.
What did you think of the fight?
It wasn't a good one.
It wasn't a good one. No. Yeah. Overall, how'd you just see how Jake fought, how Mike fought?
Well, you know, you can tell something was wrong with.
At this point, it's looking like Jake Paul's whole boxing career is built on gimmicks and opportunism. And Mike Tyson, he's a legend, but this fight might have been one step too far. The question now is, what really happened behind the scenes? Did Jake Paul leak Mike's illness to get the upper hand? Was the fight scripted from the jump? And should Mike have even been in that ring in the first place? Y'all already know I want to hear what you think, so drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, smash that like button, hit that subscribe, and tap that bell so you don't miss the next video.